Hello, welcome everyone to Henna Radio 3.5, the station that can bring you into the story. And today we are in Neverland. Yes, today we will explore the Peter Pan story. It is the story reading from the globalbookshelf.org and the story by James M. Barries for the story that we all know very well, Peter Pan, the kid that not grow up to the adult yet. Let's explore next from the yesterday. Yesterday we start to do the reading and start to tune in this station for the first time, and we read the first page and we find many of the vocabulary that I don't know how to pronounce and that I don't know the meaning as well. However, I plan to collect it soon. But before we jump to the story for the next page, let me ask you, how are you today? How are you doing? Are you rushed to go work or to go study? I am about to go to work as well. But before that, let me finish my tasks first. That about reading the Peter Pan. So if you do not mind, let's jump to story, okay? I want take you much time, so just only one page. But if during my reading I have the comment or question, I was still thinking that how I can make it separate between the reading or what the section that I talk to myself, something like that. Or maybe I will try to read and not to interrupt the reading. How about that? And then we might come back to where that I have the comment after reading. That will not interrupt you guys, I guess. Okay, now let's jump to the story. I remember that last time what we read it about they introduce Wendy, right? And they introduce Mrs. Darling, which is Wendy's mother and her father as well, how they in love, marriage, and they have a lot of kids, right? And it's kind of have to about the saving money, something like that. And as I can remember is when the father calculate the saving, and then they have the sound that the kid makes the noise, something like that. Okay, now the next page. But before next page, let's remind you. I have 1.17 here and 2 and 6 at the office. I can cut off my coffee at the office. Say 10 shilling, making 2, 9 and 6. With your 18 and 3 make 397. With 5 not in my checkbook makes 897. Who is that moving? 897 dot and carry 7. Don't speak my own and the pond and the pond and the pond you lend to that man who came to the door. Quiet, child. Dot and Kelly shy. There, you've done it. Did I say 997? Yes, I said 997. The question is, can we try it for a year on 997? Of course we can, George, she cried. But she was prejudiced in Wendy's favor, and he was really the grander character of the two. Remember, Mum, remember, Mum. He warned her almost literally, and off he went again. Mum, 1 pound, that is what I have put down. But I dare say it will be more like 30 shilling. Don't speak. Meals 1 5. German meals half a junior make 2.15 sick. Don't waggle your finger. Waggle your finger. Moving coat, say 15 shilling, and so on it went, and it added up differently each time. But at last, Wendy just got through with Mum's reduced to 12 sick and 2 kinds of meals treat at once. There was the same excitement over John and Michael. No, this is not the word. Yet, this is not the conversation, this is the narrative. There was the same excitement over John and Michael, had even a narrower squeak, but both were kept, and soon you might have the 3 of them going in around to Miss Forsom's kindergarten school, accompanied by their nurse. Mrs. Darling, Mrs. Mrs. Darling loved to have everything just so, and Mr. Darling had a passion for being exactly like his neighbor. So of course they had a nurse, and they were poor, owing to the amount of milk the children drank. This nurse was a plump Newfoundland dog called Nana, who had belonged to no one in particular until the Darling engaged her. She has always thought children important, however, and the Darling had become acquainted with her in Kensington Gardens, where she spent most of her spare time peeping into perambulator and was managed by careless nursemaids, whom she followed to their home and complained of to their mistress. She proved to be quite a treasure of a nurse. How through she was at bath time and up at any moment of the night if one of her chart made the slightest cry. Of course, her kennel was in the nursery. She has a genius for knowing when a cat is a thing to have no patience with, and when it needs tucking around your throat. She believed to her last day in old-fashioned remedies like rhubarb leaf, and made sound of contempt over all these newfangled talk about germs, and so on. It was a lesson in propriety to see her escorting the children to school, walking sedately by their side when they were well behaved, and butting them back into line if they strayed. On John's Futter Day, she never once forgot his sweater, and she usually uh, and she usually carry an umbrella in her mouth in case of rain. There is a room in the basement of Miss Forsom's school where the nurse wait. They sat on form while Nana lay on the floor. But that was the only difference. They affect to ignore her as of an inferior social status to themselves, and she despised their light talk. She resent visits to the nursery from Mrs. Darling's friends. But if they did come, she first whipped off Michael pinafore and put him into the one with the blue braiding and smoothed out Wendy and made a dash at John's hair. No nursery could possibly have been conducted more correctly, and Mr. Darling knew it. Yet he sometimes wondered uneasily whether the neighbors talked. He has his position in the city to consider. Nana also troubled him in another way. He had sometimes a feeling that she did not admire him. I know she admires you tremendously, George, Mrs. Darling would assure him, and then she would sigh to the children to be especially nice to father. Lovely dance followed in which the only other servant, Lisa, was sometimes around to join. Such a mistress she looked in her long skirt and maid's cap, though she had sworn, when engaged, that she would never see 10 again. The gaiety of those lumps and gazes of all was Mrs. Darling, who would pay broad so widely that all you could see of her was the kiss, and then if you had dashed at her, you might have got it. There never a simple there never was a simpler, happier family until the coming of Peter Pan. Mrs. Darling first heard of Peter Pan, or Mrs. Darling first heard of Peter when she was tidying up her children's mind. It is the nicely custom of every good mother after her children are asleep to lament in their mind. And that is the end of the page number 2 of Peter Pan. And I frankly to tell you, I admit that most I don't get it. Like they have I thought that this is a children literature, right? But I feel like, oh my God, this is academic book or not, because they have a lot that I do not know any the word. What that is mean a lot. But yeah, soon I will try to find the vocabulary and try to understand the story better. And let's assume that maybe after one about after five page, and then we will reread from first page to the 5th page. When we already know the story, when we already know that which word is how to pronounce and what that is mean to be in the character when they have the dialogue more emotion, more the tone that match with the character. And okay, this is how we finish the stream, finish the radio. It's a short time, but I hope you enjoy listening to the non-native speaker reading, and I even hope that I can pronounce it smoothly so that you can go through the story without any interruption. Now I have to leave, so hope you have a good day, everyone. Everyone, bye bye, bye bye. See you next time.